Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. brings to the forefront his message of equality and the positive changes his vision made on history. Watch as Ann Arbor celebrates one of the most influential people of the 20th century, the city's 200th anniversary, and dreams for the future ahead.
Well, this is Martin Luther King Jr. official holiday nationally and in Ann Arbor. And it seemed that we know him mostly through the promotion of his speech in 1963 for Jobs and Freedom, I Have a Dream. And when I met Dr. King in probably 1960 or 61. Yeah, his message was in our conversation that we all have to find the dream in our heart.
The man gave his life for such beautiful ideals of unity, of equality, of black children and white children growing up together without racism, without separation and segregation.
I quoted Dr. King saying that your life begins to end the moment you remain silent about things that matter. And it was beautiful. Everybody spoke about things that did indeed matter.
Dreams start with the idea, with the concept, with the vision. And I think that we, in order to honor him the best, is for each of us individually to try to do what we can in our everyday lives to try and take steps towards that kind of equality.
We are together in what can be a human society when we treat one another as humans.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. Pride was emanating from the city as people flocked to the downtown to honor the 2023 National Champion Wolverines. Reporter Jacob Smith has all the details.
The University of Michigan Wolverines football team, Team 144. Back to back Big Ten champions. And now, your 2023 National Champions. The season in which the players titled Unfinished Business has reached its pinnacle and officially ended in business being finished. After a 26-year drought, the conquering heroes have cemented themselves among the leaders and the best once more, following a perfect, undefeated 15-0 season. The celebratory parade took place the Saturday following the team's national championship victory. And despite the freezing temperatures, ice, and snow flurries, fans showed up in droves to pack the streets of downtown Ann Arbor. From South University, down State Street, all the way to Schembechler Hall, Wolverine faithful showed their unwavering support for their new national champions. The nearly mile-long parade featured the university's Board of Regents and marching band, highlighted by the Wolverines players and coaches. With the grand finale of the parade consisting of an old vintage Ann Arbor City fire truck, carrying an overjoyed Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh and several players cheering from the truck bed. Needless to say, it was a joyous event to mark an end to a historic season. The University of Michigan football team won 44 on behalf of all the fan faithful here in Ann Arbor. Congratulations and go blue.
The frigid temps have blown in, and to keep the home safe and its inhabitants, the Ann Arbor Fire Department has some tips in case of cold weather emergencies. Learn more in this month's City Roundup.
Hi, I'm Sydney Parmenter, the Emergency Management Coordinator with the City of Ann Arbor. Winter is well on its way here in Michigan, and while many look forward to winter festivities, it is equally important that we prepare for winter weather, which can include extreme cold temperatures, heavy snowfall, and accumulating ice, which can lead to hazardous traveling conditions and widespread power outages. Here are 3 things you can do to prepare yourself for winter weather. First, sign up to receive A2 emergency alerts by visiting www.washtenaw.org/alerts. Through the registration process, you can select to receive weather-related alerts via phone, text, and/or email. It is equally important that as a Washtenaw County resident, you are aware of the winter weather conditions and their protective actions. In addition to a watch, advisory, and warning, the county may issue a winter weather condition red or yellow. Under a winter weather condition yellow, motorists are encouraged not to drive. However, if you must, we ask that you take extreme caution and account for extended traveling times. Under snow condition red, we strongly encourage motorists not to drive. The second thing you can do to prepare is either create or review your household emergency plan. Your household emergency plan should include places to go to stay warm in the event of a power outage during extreme cold temperatures. This may include a family or friend or neighbor's home, or a Washtenaw County warming center. To find a Washtenaw County warming center near you, please visit their website at www.washtenaw.org. And lastly, we strongly encourage that you create or update your household emergency kit and create one to keep in your vehicle. Some important materials to consider for your kit include a flashlight, a mobile phone charger, non-perishable food, bottled water, warm clothes, and extra blankets. For more information on how to build your kit, please visit www.ready.gov/kit. In closing, thank you for preparing yourself and your loved ones for winter weather.
A fresh logo tee that represents you, your likes, and interests are all the rage these days. And one company is bringing some hometown flair to the apparel game with their Born in Detroit designs, while also creating officially licensed championship gear for the University of Michigan Wolverines after their historic win. Joining me is co-owner of Born in Detroit and CEO of the Tomey Group, Anthony Tomey. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thank you, dude. Thanks for having me on.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you get to the Tomey Group? And then how did you get this licensing deal with the University of Michigan?
Yeah, so we started Tomey Group 20 years ago now. So I was 21. I had just been drafted by the Detroit Tigers, and our family was just like, hey, let's do something. And so we decided to do Jimmy John's. So we opened our first Jimmy John's. We only ate it at U of M, right? That's when I used to eat it. And we brought it to the suburbs, and 20 years later, we have 50 locations and just going from there. And the whole thing with the Born in Detroit was just kind of a fluke, really. We were throwing a fundraiser. A guy brought a vodka bottle, said, hey, you want to buy a vodka company? I said, sure. And it wasn't the vodka company we own. So we drank that vodka. We didn't really like it. We said, boom, for 2 weeks straight, I'm like, I got to buy a vodka company. So we bought 8 Mile Vodka, and on the bottom of it said Born in Detroit. And we asked if they had trademarked that. They said yes. And boom, we took it and we made an apparel brand and just kind of flew off from there.
So what year was that when Born in Detroit apparel happened?
Born in Detroit and 8 Mile were both acquired in 2020, right in time for the pandemic. Literally, We had the deal done in September of 19, and nothing was finalized until literally February of 20. 2 weeks later, the whole world shuts down. So bad timing, but it worked out for us.
Well, if you have an online presence, I feel like everyone was online shopping more during the pandemic than ever
Sure,
before.
100%, 100%.
So, do you have a storefront too, or is it strictly online?
It's strictly online, right? Well, it's online right now. We do have we are sold in several boutiques. We're sold in Meyer. So Meyer's been our best partner with the vodka and with Born in Detroit. Right now, there's a new line coming in for the spring, which is awesome. We sold out completely last year for the summer program they did with Meyer. So that's really been great. And now we have a new store in the Evans terminal in the airport, which is sold out 3 times, which is great. And then we're actually building a Born in Detroit bar and restaurant, which will also sell our apparel, food, and the 8 Mile vodka. And that's going to be in the McNamara terminal at the airport as well.
Well, Anthony, you think of it all, don't you?
I mean, we're trying to diversify, right? Get out there a little bit. So it's a really great deal. We're partnering with Delaware North, which is one of the top concessions in the country, and it's their whole thing, and it's going to be great for us.
Tell me a little bit more about Tomey Group and like some of the other things you do. You said you have vodka, you have your Jimmy John's, you have your Born in Detroit. Are there other ventures? You're always looking for
Yeah,
more?
yeah. We opened our first Chicken Guy, which is a new chicken restaurant concept. We partnered with Guy Fieri on it. That's his new line, and we bought the entire state of Michigan. So first store opened in April in Livonia on Plymouth Road, and it's gone very, very well sales wise for us. We have about at least 20 to 25 stores to build at some point. We're just trying to get this one going pretty well before you know, deals take a lot longer now than they did, a while ago because of the lack of people with construction companies and lack of supplies are still very slow to get going with equipment and not enough people to build stuff. So it's been a little bit different than it used to be.
Yeah, that's no joke about the workforce and not having as many employees to do things. I know even just getting stuff done around your house, you're like, it's going to be a couple months out before,
Yeah,
and it is supply
exactly.
chain or it is the people that actually will come and do stuff for sure.
100%. I mean, we're getting a little bit better with the workforce overall. When I started, we had 800 employees in February of 2020. And then after we had to close all locations of Jimmy John's for 6 weeks. And when we came back, we were under 500. So
Yeah.
we lost 300 employees in that time. And then took us 3 years now to really kind of build back to about 630 to 650 people. So,
And I'm sure
um,
Jimmy John's doesn't slow down because you don't have the employees.
oh no, it cranked up. We've done more
Yeah.
money, more sales than we ever had. We've almost, I think we're up about 30 some percent since 2020. It just keeps getting better every year. Thank God. It's been awesome. But we've also learned to work with less, and that's kind of benefited us as well. We may have been a little bit overstaffed at that point too. So, the quality of worker is great. We just don't have a deep as bench, right? The bench is not as good as it used to be, right? You don't have enough guys. If someone walks away, quits, fired, whatever the case, you don't have necessarily always had that next guy in line. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about this licensing deal with U of M. You said it started in 2020. Is that correct?
no, the licensing deal just started this past year in 2023.
Okay, so it started this year. That's
This
insane
year,
to think
it,
about because
it
you
is.
did
It
not know
is.
what was going to happen this year.
No, not at all. I mean, we had asked, prior, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. It doesn't really, tie into what we're doing. And then there was a Cranes article with President Santaono, and he had said they're building a brand new $100 million building in the city of Detroit, and they want to get back to where they were born. And that just clicked. Boom, we got to take advantage of that. So we called the licensing department. My friend and our partner, Top Cat, John Wengler, calls and said, "You guys got to get this. Like, this is what the president just said. This is sponsored by Stephen Ross. Um, we own this company. Here you go. Boom." And 2 days later, she loved it, okayed it, and we just went off. So it's been great, great
So,
partnership.
so 2023, you guys create new apparel for the University of Michigan. So it's probably off to a pretty good start because as someone that lives in Ann Arbor, I know that people love U of M apparel. It's a
They do.
constant. They're always buying it.
They do, and it's been great. I mean, we debuted it at the homecoming game. So we had a tent at the alumni football tent. We had a ton of people coming through. We were just literally giving away the gear, right? T-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, giving it to people and saying, hey, this is what we're doing. Everyone's like, man, this is actually really cool. Something totally different than what we're used to. Michigan is normally the Black M, maize, the blue, maybe a helmet here and there, but not very out there, right? So we
Yeah.
have kind of like our Top Gun line, which is really, really popular. It's a kind of a cool, different little, different type of shirt. We pride ourselves in our quality. We don't want to have we don't want to get cheap on our stuff. We want a quality shirt that fits well. It's not boxy. That kind of conforms to your body, and it's done really well for us. Thank God. It's been awesome. People enjoy it, and we get a lot of support locally. And to tell you the truth, some of our biggest sales have been out of state. So
Oh, I
people like
bet.
that see it and they're like, "Oh, that's cool. When I come home or when I come do this, I want to have something different when I come into Michigan." Right. So it's been really great for us, and it's a big boost in our sales, and it just broadens our whole horizon of our site.
Yeah, so you are incorporating the Block M into your Born in Detroit apparel, but then you also have like stuff that's just strictly U of M apparel.
Yes, we have just U of M apparel. So there's only a couple restrictions of what you're able to not use from Michigan. So we have one of them with Born in Detroit with the helmet and the O, which is kind of like our main thing, right? All the different schools and organizations we've worked with, we put the logo, it really pops really well if you put it in the O and just boom, you kind of notice it, right? But then we've done a couple other different variations of it, and it's been great. I mean, it's the number one brand in the country, especially in college athletics, or just college apparel overall. So we're very honored to be part of Michigan and have that be our number one.
Tell me about your design team, how they work with U of M to come up with designs. Because, I mean, it's not just you. Like you said, you have to, when you're working with something like the University of Michigan, there has to be approval going on.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. I'm definitely not the creative one. I promise you that. I wish I was, but I, I'm creative in saying, yes, that looks good. But I don't have that. Yeah, that comes with our team from TopCat, who is our vendor and partner in this. They own, the Michigan versus everybody. They own the whole Valiant line. And so they are very creative. They have a great artist or two within their team, and they'll just give us, 5, 6 designs and say, hey, what do you guys think? And we'll tweak here and there, or we'll say, this looks great, or can we move this here or there? But they've done a great job of just thinking outside the box for us. And that's kind of what we wanted. Because, I mean, you can go get a Block M shirt every single store you go to, right?
Sure.
And we just wanted something a little different, a little outside the realm of what is normal. And see, just kind of almost want to challenge the licensing department and say, hey, what
Push
do
it a
you
little
think of
further.
this? Yeah, what do you think about this? So that's kind of what we did, and it's been very successful.
Well, I like that you're pushing the boundaries, and I think that the people that are younger generations that are at the University of Michigan probably like it too. They want something a little bit different.
They do, they do. I mean, you can see it everywhere. You can see the way that fashion works. I'm not a fashion guru, but a lot of the retro stuff, right? You see some of the older jackets that, let's say, like, Dave Portnoy is wearing, right? Over, he's got some of those different jackets and the cut off sweatshirts and t-shirts and things of that nature. And so everyone's looking for the next cool thing, right? Or the next new design. So we just kind of, just go outside the box a little bit and see what we can do and see if it sticks, right?
One thing that I've always been curious about in this scenario that you were in 2023, where there was a chance that Michigan was going to be the national champions, but you didn't know. So, do you have to sort of have everything designed? Do you have to have it printed? How does it work for you to be able to sell that stuff as soon as they win?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So, we were hoping that it wouldn't be, hey, just go ahead and buy a bunch of shirts. We'll get them all printed, and then when it's ready to go, there you go. Or if we don't win, then you guys lose all that money. So Actually, it's a great question. So I've read a lot of research, and our team was just telling us, listen, we'll have it all designed, we'll have everything ready to go. When midnight hits, or pretty much when they win the game, game on, we start printing. And there's some huge orders like MDen ordered huge, like 40,000 plus, right?
And they
In
need them
number of
like the
items
next day, right?
next day, right? Like, so it was crazy. So we started selling immediately, and we started getting hit. And then, we made a couple initially for some of these different media outlets. It was on Channel 2, on Fox 2, and they put it on air, and then boom, we just blew up. We sold 100 shirts within the first hour. Just getting out there. So again, it's a little bit, our shirt was a little bit different compared to other shirts that had been made. And I didn't even know, none of us knew what other shirts were out there, or what the designs were going to look like. But we just kind of liked the way it was. It was nice and simple. We had a little Born in Detroit on there, and the schedule in the back, and it just flew off the shelf. So we were very happy with it.
Oh, I bet. I bet
But
people
those
were
guys
like,
were working though. Those guys were probably 48 hours in without
well, that's
break.
why I was curious. I'm like, if you print this stuff in advance and they lose, then what happens to all the shirts? Like, that's just
I
like
mean,
a waste.
you've seen those memes back in the day where you see, the kids in Africa would have, like, they ship them
Oh,
all over the
I
world, and they're all
literally,
wearing
that's
the
so
World
funny. I was talking
Series
to my
champions,
husband
and they
about it.
lost,
I was
right?
like,
Yeah,
do they send them to India and Africa if they
they
don't
do.
win?
I mean, that's for the losing shirt. Remember, they do that. You see those memes back in the day, like,
Yeah.
it says like Detroit Tigers World Series champions. They didn't win it, so they had to do something with the shirts, right? So, uh, it'd be really nice to have that much money to just throw it away like that. But we didn't. We thankfully we didn't have to do that. We were just able to get it going, get the orders taken, and then print as we went. So.
So it's been like, what, a couple weeks now since they won. Do you still like, are you selling a lot of championship gear, or is it now just more back to the Block M, Born in Detroit stuff?
We sold a few this week. Obviously, it was really hot for those 2 to 3 days after. The first day was good. Took a day. We were on Fox 2, and then boom, the rest of that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we just kind of blew up. Um, but yeah, even last week we sold some, and then this week I think we sold 6 or 7. So, I think we're just kind of probably at that point here, probably by the end after the Lions hopefully go out and win this week, it's going to be all Lions, and then we'll go back to regular U of M stuff. But we don't have too many left, thankfully. We really have sold out. We got very lucky in the amount that we decided to go ahead and print, and we're probably within 15, 20 shirts, so not too bad.
Yeah, what a year. I can't even imagine getting the licensing agreement and then this being the year because it had been so long.
And,
And then, I mean, I don't want to say it, but there was a cheating scandal involved. And then, so there was like a sullying. And then
yeah,
it came back, and people don't even care anymore about that. And they're just like,
no, they
this
could
is
care less.
amazing.
I mean, like they always say, right? It's not any news is good news, right?
And
Any
it
publicity,
worked out. It worked for them.
it did, because I think the whole country was kind of like, what's going on? They're cheating, all this, and all of a sudden I think that, that may have helped them to say, okay, listen, if you guys think we cheated, okay, but now we're definitely not cheating, and we still beat all the top teams. That's when you beat Penn State, you beat Ohio State, you beat Iowa, you won 5 games in a row, all ranked teams, and you just everyone kind of just shuts. Even the NCAA just kind of said, hey, they beat everybody, now it's over, so they're the
Oh, yeah,
champs.
totally.
So it
Yeah.
kind of maybe worked in their favor a little
And I think like for Born in Detroit to have this licensing agreement with U of M is huge because I think people that are fans of U of M are always going to buy gear. They're always looking for new gear to wear,
bit, for
and
sure.
they're the most supportive fans of any college team I've ever seen. Like these people will make any excuse for a loss. They're always supporting the team regardless of what
No matter
happens.
what happens, no matter what.
Yes.
It's a great listen. It's a brand. It's not even a school, and it's a great school,
It,
great
it is a
institution.
brand. You're right.
It is the brand. I mean, for Michael Jordan to put his name and his logo on first school he does at University of Michigan, not North Carolina where he went, that says a lot about the brand of Michigan. And he was actually at the national championship game as well. They showed him in the suite. I mean, that just shows the power of Michigan and the power of the university and the power of sports overall, and how it just engulfs a whole community into what it is. And Michigan reaches out all over the country, over the world, right? It just always has. There's people everywhere. There's stronger fan base besides Michigan is probably like New York and LA, right? Those are a lot of alumni are
Yeah.
out there, and that's where we get a lot of our stuff going to tell you the truth. We get a lot of people buying it from out of state, shipping it where that's, wherever in the country. So it's been an awesome year for us. It's been a great year, obviously, for the University of Michigan. And we got very, I guess, sometimes the harder you work, the luckier you get, right? You got lucky, and we've asked for this for a couple years, and we get it in 2023 when it really took off and mattered the most.
That's so amazing for you. Before we go, we're out of time, but if you want to just tell people why they should check out Born in Detroit and peruse the website and check out all the apparel that you have to offer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, bornindetroit.store is our website. We have everything from just, hats and beanies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, crew necks. We do a lot of collaborations, a lot of schools, and we do a lot of community stuff backwards too, not backwards, back to the school. Sorry. So we're able to kind of everyone wins on that situation, right? The vendor wins, we win, the school wins, everyone gets gear, and the school gets some money back. So it's really worked out well for everybody, and we're really excited to be in the community, and we're going to get our name out there. Like I said, we're going to be in the airport, we're in Meyer, we're going to start getting a lot of different stores and boutiques, and yeah, borndetroit.store, and we'd love for everyone to come take a look and come see our quality and our new designs.
Well, I want to thank you, Anthony, for being on the show. It was a pleasure speaking with you today.
You as well. Thanks for having me.
No problem. For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.